I mean, the step for finding the broker is, there's a couple things. You can Google them. That's fine. It's as a way of identifying brokers. Google is fine. That's not the issue. The issue is really how you approach them and what you do before you approach them. So I have kind of like a 5-step process that has worked for me. I mean, I don't need it anymore because I'm established, so I can just call up a broker and it's, but when you're starting out, this 5-step process really helps you just get your foot in the door. And the 5 steps, we can go through them in a little more detail, but the 5 steps are: first, you've got to get enough education so that you sound like you know what you're talking about. Like if you've gone to like a seminar and you're like, that's not enough. You really have to kind of steep yourself in this for a little while to really be able to know all the important concepts and to speak the talk, right? The next thing that you have to do is set yourself up so that anybody who Googles you, right? This is what, when somebody reaches out to you and you don't know who they are, the first thing you do is like Google them, right? Mm-hmm. Or you're going to go on LinkedIn or whatever. You want to put yourself in the other person's shoes and make sure that when someone Googles you, the impression that they're going to come away with is this guy is in the business, right? That is step 2. Step 3 is you need to form a team of people. And that doesn't mean, I'm not talking about partners in your business. I'm talking about the professionals you work with who, if you can communicate the fact that you are working with them to the broker, are going to make the broker think, oh, this guy is in the business, and also make them, hopefully those are people with reputations such that the broker is going to say, oh, Jonathan is working with this guy. Oh, okay, then he must be legitimate, right? Because that guy would only work with someone who is legitimate. And then the next step is you need to prepare a set of materials that shows, who you are, your background, your business, the kinds of properties you're looking at, who this team is, et cetera, right? Get that all ready to go. And then the very last step is reaching out to the broker. And the way that you want to reach out to the broker is get a personal introduction. Personal introduction is probably the key to most things in life that you want to accomplish. But with brokers, it's really the key. The difference between cold calling a broker, cold emailing a broker, and getting introduced by one of those professionals on your team is just night and day. That will solve about 90% of your problems right there. Frankly, you could even flub some of this other stuff that I've already mentioned and get the personal introduction and get better results than you're getting right now by trying to cold email people or cold call them. Walking with a warm introduction is just gold. And then before you actually meet them, so now we're sort of getting, I said there's a 5-step process, there's a couple more steps, but before you actually meet them, then you want to send them those materials that you put together, right? Because that's going to answer a lot of their questions. And it's also going to reinforce in their mind that that you're in the business, that you know what you're looking for. And then if at all possible, I know it's hard now because of COVID, but if at all possible, you want to meet them in person rather than doing a phone call. Phone calls will work fine, but there is nothing like saying to somebody, I'm flying into your city for 2 days and I would like to meet you while I'm there. People will make time to meet with you when you say that. Just as an aside on this point, I live in New York City, but there was a period about 20 years ago where I moved to Boston to take a job and I wasn't really happy there and didn't really know anybody. So I was coming back to New York City almost every weekend to see my friends. And like the friends who, you go 6 months without seeing when you're both living in the same city because you could see each other anytime. Like basically every weekend I'd call them up and say, hey, I'm driving down from Boston, let's hang out. And they would always say yes, because so there was something, both scarce and unusual. They're like, oh, he's only here for the weekend, even though I was here last weekend, the weekend before that. Like there's just something about like somebody saying, I'm traveling to where you are. Can we get together while I'm there? That creates a scarcity about you being there that makes them want to meet you. So, that really, really helps a lot if you're able to do that.
Today, we talked all about how to find great multifamily deals. To help you even more, we put together a free resource you can download called How to Find Multifamily Deals Resource Kit. It includes a sample script for talking to brokers, which is incredibly helpful, some of the best articles and podcast episodes about finding deals, and even more tips about talking to brokers and finding deals that most people are not looking at. Download your copy for free at apartmentinvestorpro.com/find deals. Again, that's apartmentinvestorpro.com/find deals. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Apartment Investor Pro podcast. Be sure to subscribe to get the latest episodes. Also, visit our website at apartmentinvestorpro.com and connect with us.